Good morning, everybody. Oh yes. Today's video, you get 2 for the price of 1. 2. Alright. Little intro music. Endless summer, man. It's the summer, dude. Bodacious babes and, hunky dudes and trying to make a voice where it's not. I'm trying to make a quote where it sounds less more lopsided and sex. Yeah, fuck it. Alright. Lower that volume right now, boy. There we go. Welcome to Morning Coffees with James. I'm James, and this is my morning coffee show. Yes, you get 2 for the price of 1. But what are we going to talk about today? I think we should talk about a little thing that's been happening recently, and that's one of my favorite topics of all time, censorship. And I hate censorship. I think censorship is stupid, but it also can be funny if you know how to do it proper. But to me, censorship is kind of like when I was a kid, I thought censorship was a means of a way to kind of stop people from saying the F-bomb on a kid's show. Like, for example, Rocko's Modern Life, SpongeBob, a more contemporary one, where the episode where they're swearing a lot, and they bleed it out with dolphin squeaking, and originally that they were going to be not swearing, so it was like, Tom Kenny talks about this, so like in the original episode they were trying to make it sound like you're swearing, but not really swearing. And so they decided to just say, they decided to go, fuck it, just swear all you want. And Clancy Brown was like, yeah, that'll work. No, he sounds more like Mr. Krabs. Honestly, because it's like, you could still bleed it out. It's like, but it's just fun to hear Patrick SpongeBob saying the F-bomb. What the fuck, SpongeBob? Hey, SpongeBob, did you know Mr. Krabs is an asshole? I'm on my way, SpongeBob. That spells moon. Squidward's finally cursing out SpongeBob. SpongeBob, you son of a bitch! Listen, I don't want to play, okay? I just want to relax. I had a hard day. That's what I do for fun. Why can't you understand that? Alright? I want to be left alone. All you do is just bother me, and then I just feel like the universe just loves to watch me torture me. It's like this entire show is nothing but a torture porn of my life. I've had enough. I'd be surprised that Squidward's suicide thing is a real deal. Just kidding. It's not. It's creepy pasta. But what do we want to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about something very important again, censorship. Again, I always found it to be a funny thing. Something to, not hinder creators, but to help them figure our way around it. Like an obstacle. Like, okay, we can't go straight through. We gotta figure a way to jump over, go around it, go this way, go that way, kind of creep under. Like, a way to, basically, like an obstacle in the sense to, restrict, a restriction, but to figure out how to get around the restrictions. You know what I mean? Like an obstacle. That's always what I thought. That's why shows back from, the 90s, even the 80s were really good. I'm going to say the 90s, because the 90s was an edge time. You know what I mean? And I don't care what Razor Fist says. Long live the 90s. This is from a 90s kid. Long live Generation X. Generation X. Because that's a cool fucking name for a generation, because it sounds like the X-Men a little bit. But no, one of the things I want to talk about and address here is a certain movie called Gone with the Wind. Now, for those who don't know, I've never seen Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind is a beautiful, well-crafted movie about life in, the South, and Scarlett dating Clark Gable's character and stuff like that. Now, I have not seen the entirety of Gone with the Wind. I know, cardinal sin. But the thing about Gone with the Wind is that it does involve a dark period in our history. and all this shit. It talked about slavery. It talked about the Civil War. It talked about death and life, and there's always terror, And HBO Max, who owns the property, decided, nah, we're just gonna ban it because it's racist. Racist! Oh dear Lord, it's racist! And yes, that's how they reacted. So it's racist. Where are my pearls so I can cleanse them? With these poor innocent people, we can't expose everybody to race. If we have to fight racism, we have to destroy everything. Fuck you. Yes, this is the problem with our culture. I'll get into that in just a moment, but they are censoring. They're just gonna get rid of fucking ban Gone with the Wind because it has slavery in it. Yes, it happens, folks. I don't care. Black Lives Matter. You can come after me all you want. I'm sorry, but you have your own issues. And also, you too, Antifa. You're not anti-fascist. You're anti-free America. And this is where I have to side with. This is why I'm siding with Overlord DVD, aka Victor Von Doomcock. Because this is why I became a supervillain, to protect culture from society, from the society that allows degradation and the destruction of art and all this stuff and destruction, cancel culture. Try and cancel me, bitch, before you get canceled off the planet. Anyhow, cancel culture is a real thing. It's a real threat. So anyway, they're going to cancel people. So they're trying to cancel the culture and stuff like that. And this is another sign of it. This is another sign of the times. And they're canceling because of the whole racist, the whole themes of like slavery and stuff like that, which have happened in America before. But when we do it, it's a bad thing. But when the rest of the world does it, it's culture acceptance. But the thing that bothers me the most about this is the fact that people don't do their history about this. Let me look up her name again, because I fucked it up. It's Harriet McNeils, I think it is. Hold on. McDaniels. My bad. It's Harriet. Hold on. Hattie, that's what it is. I forgot. Hattie McDaniels, the black actress in the movie, the one who won the Oscar for that movie. By the way, nobody ever wants to talk about that, about black achievements in cinema and stuff like that. They always want to talk about the bad shit, because bad things are much more interesting. Again, we're a culture that feeds on negativity. You can blame the Marxists on that one. By the way, if you want to watch an interesting video, I suggest watching Razor Fist's video called Hollywood Has Always Been Red. And this is another reason why Republicans can't give up the culture war fight. And we need to get back in the media. We need to get back into that, because we need those values back as well. So anyway, Hattie McDaniels, the black actress in the movie, the head black lady in the movie, who won an Oscar for that movie, by the way, who won an Oscar for that role, was, by the way, they banned the movie on her birthday. Good job, HBO Max, HBO. Good job. I know you're releasing the Snyder Cut, but now you just lost points with me big time. You just lost points with me big fucking time. Why do I care about this? Well, simply enough, because this is part of our culture, not just cinema culture, not just movie culture, not just for the movie geeks, but our culture as a people of the United States of America. We address these problems, we show these movies. It's not about we can't show the evil. And this is another thing, this is the wrong with this country, is that we're so afraid of looking at our own shadows. We ignore the negativity. We ignore our dark side. We ignore our shadow, the id, our unconscious minds. It's gonna come back out and strike at us with full force. And it has. Why do you think those Antifa cunts wear black? That's the shadow. That these angry white liberal kids, these white privileged, white, black, Latino privileged kids, not just any color, privileged kids coming out, destroying the system, dude.
yeah, I'm gonna destroy your property, yeah, fight Nazis, yeah, punch people in the face, yeah.
Fuck you. You're not a fucking hero. You're not punching the Nazis. You are the fucking Nazis. You're the Nazi communists. That's what the fuck you are, Antifa. And for those who are agreeing with this cancel culture or this so-called woke culture, W-O-K-A, I'm sorry, but you're responsible for destroying culture as well. You know, you censor the movie Splash. You're hiding movies that are masculine, that are pro-masculine. You're destroying history, film history, by the way, because you wanna. And I always laughed at this. I thought this was a joke. I'm like, why would anybody do that? But no, it's true because they're afraid. They want to control the culture. 1984 is happening in 2020, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be 20 years, you were 84 years down the road and us living in a 1984 society. And you know who's doing it the most? You know who's, the left talked about how afraid, Donald Trump, oh my dear Lord, Donald Trump, he's gonna make 1984. So you decided to make 1984 and do the same shit. And you know what? I'm sorry, this whole progressive movement, this whole woke culture, this progressive movement, all this bullshit, I'm sorry, but you're ruining the culture. Stop it. And a movie that is part of art cinema history. And I know there's some fucking racist black people out there, which, I'm gonna start calling you motherfuckers out because, you know what? You're part of the black KKK. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's not Black Lives Matter anymore. It's the black KKK. You just don't wear white hoods. In fact, no, I'm gonna go a little further with this, and I know I'm gonna piss off a lot of people when I say this, but the Black Panther movement is a racist group. It is no different from the KKK, and I know people out there are gonna get the pitchforks and knives at me and scream at me on Instagram and YouTube and every other fucking network out there. But let me think about this: they both are militant. They're both, demand supremacy for their own fucking race, and they both will engage in violence. Now, granted, you all talk about how, black people in white suburbia with guns. It's like, why are you going to suburbia with guns instead of the fucking Capitol, like those guys who did before? Like, you don't get it. You're afraid of people with guns going to the Capitol. But, you're like, oh my God, they're at the Capitol with guns. But so you're protesting, so you're, now you're afraid of, and you think why people are freaked out when you go to a suburbia with guns? It's because you're going to a place where normal people are living. The fucking in-between people who don't give a shit. The middle class, in-between people who just want to live their lives. The mediocre individuals. Now you're pushing. You know why this racism is on the rise? Because it's not just white people that are being pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed to the right of that. Where they're just like, you know what? Fuck it. David Duke had it right. Or it's the left. These Black Lives Matter. These Antifa cunts who fucking go around talking about how evil white people are and you don't know what it's like to be judged by the color of your skin. You just did, cocksucker. You just did. When you judge somebody by the color of the skin, that is called racism. And nobody wants to say, oh, black people can't be racist. That sounds even more racist, you dumb cunt. Black people are also as guilty of being racist as white people. The only difference is that black people hide behind that for the community bullshit. You're not for the community. You just want to manipulate the community. You want your army, you communists. And I'm not apologizing. I'm not bending the knee. I'm not a white ally. I am your friend. I'm not a white friend. Just a friend. Don't put the color there. Because I have many of friends who are African American. Okay? Excuse me, not African American, but Americans of African descent, or maybe Caribbean descent, depending on how hairy they are. But you know what? Something that's what pisses me off about this culture. And especially with the mainstream media, catering, bending the fucking knee. I am not bending the knee anymore. Why don't you apologize to me, huh? Why don't you apologize to me? Or what do I have to be sorry for? Well, maybe I don't know. Disrupting people, causing property damage, trying to think what else. Not crediting the songs that you use for your sample of, like, music, for your rap music. And I know I'm sounding like an absolute racist, but you know what? I'm just so fed up with the bullshit. You know, black lives do matter. You know, white lives matter, by the way. So do Asian lives and Latino lives, you know. And you're upset about it, and you get it. You're upset because, you know, the police are single-handedly judging you. Well, I know that. I'm sorry about that. But you know what? Maybe you should stand up for your own communities and tell these other fucking assholes running around, you know, stop fucking it up for the rest of us. Stop acting like a bunch of black trash. Yes, I'm sorry, I can't say black trash. Well, when you call us white trash, that's, you know, that's equally offensive, by the way. White trash, black trash, trashy people in general exist on all spectrums of the universe, you sons of bitches. And no, I refuse to say the N-word. I'm not going to say the N-word because that's an easy target. Because if I say that once, everybody's going to flip out at me. You know, you want to defund the police, but yet you don't want your own communities to be protected. You know what black people really are? Crabs. They are a bunch of fucking crabs pulling each other down because they want misery loves company. You say, you know, you brainwash your children to think this is just a white man's game instead of just saying it's not just a white man's game. If you want to play the white man's game, dress like the white man in a nice suit, glasses, you know. I'm not saying you should just change your lifestyle and be Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Jesus Christ, and I know I just went off topic talking about racism, but you know what? This is what's wrong with our culture. You know, you're hiding. You know, nobody's watching the classics anymore. Nobody's reading the classics anymore. Nobody's reading 1984. Nobody's reading V for Vendetta. Nobody's watching Gone with the Wind. Nobody's watching Killing a Mockingbird, which, by the way, everybody should watch. I know it's not fast-paced in action, but maybe having to sit down and relax and watch a movie. Smoke a blunt. Yes, honestly, Irish people smoke more weed than you do, pal, because we fucking take substances like fucking champs. Fuck. And I'm pissed off. God damn it. And nobody's worried about Hattie McDaniels. You know, when she, you know, they banned that movie on her fucking birthday of all days. And by the way, you want to talk about the white people in the movie? Clark Gable and Hattie McDaniels were friends, like really good friends. And they were sharing out, like, during the birthing scene, you know, in the movie, Clark Gable slipped in some real alcohol to Hattie McDaniels, and they had a good time in that scene. Or the fact that, you know, Clark Gable got pissed off that they had, like, a section for, like, whites and colors. Like, he just took down those sounds. He was pissed because he almost walked off the movie because they put up that shit and was like, no, we're all actors here. And by the way, he fought in World War II. He put his acting career on hold to fight real fascism. You fucking cunts. You know, I'm done. I am seriously done with Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and all you other fuckers out there. Because you're not fighting for the communities, you're against the communities and art and culture. Oh, well, this is a racist nation, we should tear down Confederate statues. You know who also did that? Communists. You know who also did that? Fucking other regimes. Let's tear down the history. Let's just destroy the history. You can't get rid of scars, alright? Well, you're celebrating racism. Bullshit! We're not celebrating shit. We're reminding people of things that happen here. We're reminding people. But yet you don't want to see that because it's racist and it hurts your fucking feelings. Tough shit, slavery happened. Get the fuck over it. It was 200 years ago and it keeps getting older and older, by the way, as years go on. It happened a long time ago. Get the fuck over it. Please. And I know I'm going to get fucking shit canned for this or called racist or canceled. Try and cancel me, bitch. In fact, why don't you physically cancel me? Because if you come at me, I'm gonna cancel you off the fucking planet. I said that twice already, but fuck. White people, you know, this is another thing too. You know, the whole dear white people shit. Alright, here's my thing to dear white people. And I'm not just talking about, black people in general. No, I'm talking about the white liberals that, are your allies. Those fucking fake motherfuckers like Nancy Pelosi who are culturally appropriating African garb. The same motherfuckers who, get to say the N-word because, oh, well, I support black people. That means I get to say the N-word. Like fucking Bill Maher. Which, by the way, House N-word. That's what he said. Or the fact that some of these white liberals who are ready at the Chicago mayor, who doesn't give a shit about anybody. And yes, look that up. Look up the heated phone conversation and talking about how defunding the police is a bad idea. And granted, it sounds like I don't like black people, but you know what? Step out of that circle for a moment and look from the outside at your own group. I do the same thing with the Republicans. Stiff motherfuckers who are too overzealous about their religion and thinking they're right all the time. Which, by the way, the war on drugs, we're fighting a wrong front on that. The cartels are the problem. I know I'm probably going to get shit canned, but you know what? It has to be said. It has to be said. We have to protect the culture. We have to protect the American culture. Alright? Because I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Latino, wherever the fuck you're from. You are all Americans. You are all Americans. Don't give me this, I'm an African American. If you are born in this country, born and bred in this country, fed the same shit as, the same movies that we have, the same culture, the same music, the same fucking shit every day, and don't give me that bullshit. It's different for you. It's like, no, it's not. I've been stopped by the police, and trust me, I know how fucking harsh the police can get, but I also know how fucking nice the police can get. So defunding the motherfuckers, and I keep talking about how thin the blue line is getting, but that's the truth though. The thin line is getting thinner, but the truth is that I don't want to see the police getting hurt. I don't want to see police being defunded. I don't want to see a police state. I don't want to see militarization of the police. But if you keep acting, if you keep rioting, and keep shouting this whole, no peace, no justice thing, no justice, no peace shit, eventually people are just going to have enough. There's going to be vigilantes. And those motherfuckers do not give a fuck. Alright, I've talked long enough. But I'm just, at the end of the day, this is just about a movie that HBO is censoring. We are not looking at the real threat here. And then it is these people, these elitists who are just pinning us against each other and secretly doing these stupid things. Or we censored a movie because it's, of racism. We don't want to be called Really? I suggest every black person watch Gone with the Wind, To Kill a Mockingbird. The movies that white people like. Go ahead. I suggest you go watch it. Because it's honestly, at the end of the day, you know nothing about white culture. So shut the fuck up. Dear black people, you know nothing about white culture. Please be quiet. Because and by the way, I don't know anything about black culture. So, yeah. Yeah. Are we fair enough on that? Good. And again, this is from a man wearing a blue robe in his house, drinking coffee. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care, love it, bye-bye. And remember, just to focus here, okay? Peace.